Yeah. All right, guys. Dan, the bodybuilder from Thailand, here in Hollywood. Walk of Fame, Venice Beach, California, the Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, these places. We're looking for Arnold Schwarzenegger's star today. We're gonna find his star. Dan, the bodybuilder from Thailand, who will return to being the bodybuilder in Thailand at some soon to be point. We'll find Arnold Schwarzenegger's star. See across the street here, it says Smoke Lounge, and it has you know, those leaves that are in that shape. So, you know, that's right out in the open here. You know, California recently passed some laws that made cannabis consumption sold here like it's sold in shops, right? So you can like go to the, not quite the supermarket, but it's a specialty shop. And if you're over 21 or 18, if you have a recommendation, then they just let you buy it. So go to this place, and it's like a bar where you can smoke weed in the bar in Hollywood. Shrek, Bruce Lee. I know a lot of you bodybuilder fans, or especially the aesthetics boys, they're inspired by him. No, he's cool. He's cool. He's got cool movies. Okay, guys, so this is called Man's Chinese Theater. It's a theater in Hollywood. Dan, the bodybuilder in Thailand here. Gonna compare my hands and feet size to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's check it out. I have to put this up a little bit. Arnold's hand, my hand. Arnold's hand, my hand. I'm gonna get some spiritual Arnold power right now. Do some push-ups in his handprints. Oh, okay, I get it. Woo! Thank you, Arnold, for endowing me with your power. Elton John. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. This is in 1994. Let's see how my Dan, the bodybuilder in Thailand's hand compares to Arnold Schwarzenegger's hand. Looks like Arnold's is a little bit bigger. It's about one little knuckle length bigger. I'll try my right hand. It looks like either he's got a slightly smaller right hand or I've got a slightly bigger right hand. So that's Dan, the bodybuilder in Thailand's hand compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger's hand. Now there's his boot, my boot. Oh, I've got the same size feet as Arnold. I do have kind of big feet for my height. So I'm at exactly 5'9" or 5'9" and a quarter without shoes on. I think Arnold's like half a foot taller than me, but we have the same size feet. People from Asia like muscles. That's what I'm telling you. Interested in that Arnold one. There's Bruce Willis. No, I am Arnold Schwarzenegger. Ah! Alright guys, so this has been Alright guys, so this has been Dan, the bodybuilder from Thailand, here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, LA, Venice Beach, California, living the Arnold Schwarzenegger golden era bodybuilding lifestyle. So, you see those gold guys back there? Those gold mannequins. I'm buffer than them. I've made it. Buffer than some mannequins And you know what? Miss America knows it. And that stormtrooper right there knows it too. For those of you guys that were wondering before, when I made my comeback from my leg injury, you know what I did to get all my gains back. And so I'm gonna go over that with you guys right now. And by the way, to everybody that said that I was a scammer with my leg, fuck you. And you're a sniveling little bitch. Man, I feel fucking sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. Because you've got to really hate yourself to be going after someone when they're dying in a hospital bed. Fucking losers. So what I did to regain my gains was I started working out again, upper body, in January. I didn't work lower body because I needed, you know, like a good 6 weeks. But then the thing is, you know, after the surgery to let like everything heal up. But the thing is that you don't wanna do it like wait too long before you start doing your rehab, because then like a lot of scar tissue grows like under the skin and everything. So that's why I actually got back into the gym training lower body 6 weeks after I had that surgery in the beginning of February. So I'm on a real doctor prescribed TRT, like I've mentioned before. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 250 milligrams of testosterone every week, and that's what I was, you know, continued doing after the surgery. And I mentioned that I was doing my TRT, and the reason for that was because since androgens are like anabolic, right? They're like tissue building. If you're like sick or, you know, like dying or something, and you like go off your steroids, like you need to have some testosterone in you still to keep you like able to build yourself back up, because it has those anabolic effects are like systemic. So yeah, during December I kept on just doing the 250 milligrams of testosterone per week. And then in January, what I did was I added 10 to 20 milligrams of Superdrol per day, and I added 25 to 50 milligrams of Winstrol per day. That's when I went to the LA Fit Expo, and that was training only upper body. And then I started training lower body again in February. And in February, I was cruising again on the 250 milligrams of testosterone per week. And also I wanted to mention that I doubled the testosterone dosage to 500 milligrams of testosterone per week during January. And then in March again, which was like the time when I posted the video working out at Venice Beach, at the Muscle Beach with the blue fence, Muscle Venice Beach. During that video, I was back on 500 milligrams of testosterone per week, 10 milligrams of Superdrol per day, or 10 to 20 milligrams of Superdrol per day, it depended. And then 25 to 50 milligrams of Winstrol per day during that. And then now I've been cruising again, and it's the end of April now. And during this month, I've been taking 250 milligrams of testosterone per week. Okay, and so now people, you know, are gonna ask, and they need to know, and I had to go through this with myself. I had to do an inventory with myself that covered, hey, how am I gonna make sure that this situation with my leg never happens again? Because that was like really, really bad. And, you know, in addition to the physical effects obviously it had massive mental effects on me. One of the things, you guys, I don't know if you've ever like been in any like life-threatening situations or had people die in front of you, or been through serious injuries, but when these things happen, they don't only have effects on your physical body, they also have effects on your mind. And a lot of times people can have some type of a depression for a while afterwards. And so this time I actually didn't feel sad, but I had a bit of a brain fog for about 3 months, really until about the end of March. I felt a bit of a brain fog, and that was a manifestation of the mental effects of going through that traumatizing situation in Colombia. So it took about, even though I was working out again and training legs very lightly, with some extensions and stuff like that, 6 weeks after sustaining the injury, and then probably pretty much fully healed probably about 10 weeks following the surgery. It's actually taken 4 months to recover completely mentally from that injury. Man, this guy, huh? It reminds me of Salt Lake City. Very distracting. It reminds me of Salt Lake City. The Mormon protesters, sin of death. I want you to go to heaven. I believe in you, dear Lord. All right. So how did I figure out a way to make sure that something like that never happens again with my leg? Because I don't ever want something to happen like that again. That was like a living hell being in the hospital for those 2 weeks. It was like literally a living hell. So yeah, I want you to see my face when I say that. Living hell, okay? It was a living hell. And so don't want it to ever happen again. So what I do want to live this lifestyle because I believe in this lifestyle. I believe in using testosterone supplementation, at least TRT, because of the horrendous environmental effects, hormonal effects. In America, you guys ever wonder why American women have the biggest breasts in the world and they hit puberty at like an earlier age than any other women in the world? Part of it is obesity. Another part of it is because of the massive mind control of the government and free birth control pills and stuff like that. Other countries don't do that, other than Western countries, supplying their women with birth control for free. That's just exclusively Western thing. And with that, you're getting that into your water system. Okay, they pee into the water, and it's like completely infiltrating the water supply. So then, in order to protect yourself, I feel like you need to be on TRT at this state of society and culture. So I'm on TRT, okay? Although I do stop using steroids completely sometimes. I just I'll take a 5 to 6 week break of just absolutely zero, and that means no TRT either. I do that about 3 or 4 times a year. But how I have decided, the plan that I made in order to make sure that nothing like that happens with my leg again, is that I will never inject a steroid that is not human pharmaceutical grade, meant to be injected into humans again, okay? So that means that it's made by a government licensed company, and it's made for humans, and it's sold for a medical reason, okay? So the only thing that I've been injecting myself with is the TRT testosterone. So that's human pharmaceutical grade testosterone made by Bayer Sharing, okay? And that testosterone is the same testosterone that they would inject you at the hospital with. Got it, but I'm doing it at home because that's what my doctor allows me to do. So I'm not going to be using or injecting like myself with any underground lab steroids anymore, okay? But I am open to using tablets, okay? Because that is not going to be something that's going to cause an infection like what I had before from injecting the bad gear. It was infected and then, you know, basically caused a chunk of my leg to die inside, and then it had to get cut out. So it's fucking insane. It's like fucking insane talking about it. I really went through that shit. It's like unbelievable, you know? Things, once you make it out of those like heinous situations, it's like, God, it's just weird. But I think memories of like painful experiences kind of fade with a bit of time. Like, you know, women in childbirth, like it's really painful for them, but then they want to have another child later. They've got to, I'm sure in the moment they're like, I'm never having another child again, you know, when its head's coming out, but later they want to again, you know, so they kind of forget. So I think that's kind of how it happens with, I'm gonna have to tell you some other stories, guys, about some experiences I've been in where like my friends have like died in front of me, you know, from doing some outdoors risk-taking activities and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to tell you some stories of some experiences I've had during my life to familiarize you guys with the mental events that entails. I am just speaking like I'm speaking in such a detailed manner. I bet you guys appreciate that. So back to the steroid use. So what I did with the Superdrol and Winstrol that I used during January and March is that I used tablets, okay? And they were from a lab that is licensed by a government, but it's in a third world country. So it's like not nearly as good as, you know, it being from Germany or made in Spain, made in America, right? But it is like, you know, has government inspections and stuff like that done to the lab making this stuff, and it's like tablets. So I'm not injecting myself with anything from any underground labs. That's the precaution that I'm now taking. It's a new moral that I have in my life, and because of that moral that I have in my life, I will not be injecting anything from underground labs ever again, okay? And when people ask me, how can I make sure to avoid the situation that you had with your leg? I get a lot of people asking me this question, and the answer is, don't inject yourself from anything from an underground lab, okay? Don't inject yourself from anything made by an underground lab. That's how you avoid that. That's how you avoid that situation that happened to me. Every time that you inject something that is from some unregulated, unknown people, you are rolling the dice on having my situation happen to you, okay? I've had a lot of guys reach out to me actually and tell me that they had the same thing as me happen, but not as bad to their leg, okay? And I think the main thing is that usually people are really embarrassed about it. I was in like a really fucked up situation, so I didn't really have like much of a choice like about being public with it or not. And, you know, I definitely got myself in that situation through my choices to use underground lab produced gear. And, you know, thank you everyone for helping bail me out on that stupid choice. And now I've learned from that. So when people ask me again, you know, how do I make sure that what happened to you never happens to me? The answer is don't inject underground lab made gear. Only inject human pharmaceutical grade gear made for human beings, okay? And, you know, made in, you know, a first world country as well, okay? And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I recommend. All right.